They are called the Young Guns. We're talking about three House Republicans, incoming Majority Leader Eric Cantor, future Budget Committee Chairman Congressman Paul Ryan, and incoming Majority Whip Congressman Kevin McCarthy. They wrote a book together called, what else, Young Guns. And tonight the congressman held a town hall event here in Washington. We were there. Gentlemen, nice to see you.
Thanks for having us.
At first, the fun question, the new book of Young Guns, who picked the picture?
The photographer.
No,
Weekly
Standard, Fred Barnes. He named us, and he took the picture, and that's how it started.
Okay, that's the easy question. All right, now the hard question. What are you going to do? You're going to take over the House of Representatives. I'll turn to you first. What are the plans?
You know, Greta, the great thing is we are here with hundreds of college students and really the future of America. And what the Republican majority in Congress is going to be about is changing the way that Capitol Hill works so that we can actually pave the way for a better future for these youngsters.
All right, well, you get your first chance in tomorrow, the meeting at the White House with the President. We hear so much about bipartisanship. Are we going to get it?
Well, I mean, again, Greta, the focus of the meeting tomorrow has got to be about putting some certainty back into the environment for job creators. Right now, the tax issue is overhanging investors and families who don't know where their tax rates are going to be. And I think for all the youngsters that are here tonight, we want to make sure that taxes don't go up on the employers that, frankly, many of them are going to be looking for a job maybe at the end of this year or next. And so we're about trying to make sure we do everything we can, not only to rein in spending and the size of this federal government, but to also tomorrow go to the White House and hear that the President says that he's willing to work with us to make sure we're doing everything we can to see job growth come back.
Congressman Ryan from the great state of Wisconsin, I might add, the great state of Wisconsin. What do you expect in terms of the White House meeting with the President? I mean, how do you get this bipartisanship? Because you guys have your agenda. I've heard from all of you, for the last 2 years about cutting spending and the tax issues. But how do you actually get bipartisanship?
Well, we want economic growth, job creation, and fiscal responsibility.
Obviously, I know you want that, but how do you get the bipartisan?
Obviously, we disagree with the President on the direction he's taken the country. This election was all about that. So really the question is does the White House see what happened in the last election and make a course correction? Will they try to meet us? For instance, tax policy. We don't think we should be raising tax increases on all these employers, on all these job creators. We have a tax increase just around the corner on January 1. So hopefully we can get some movement from the White House to say we'll extend all these tax rates so we don't have a huge tax increase. That would be a movement toward bipartisanship. It is not in our interest, especially given the kind of election we just had, which was the biggest electoral repudiation in 72 years, to come through with a big tax increase. Spending's out of control. That's one of the causes of our problem. We're hoping that the President will see somewhere where he can cut spending with us. My hope is the President will say, okay, I agree with you Republicans on A, B, and C, so let's work on those things. And then on X, Y, and Z, he might not agree with us on these things. Healthcare is probably one of them. And then we owe it to these people, to this country, to give them an alternative, a different direction on how we would go with the country on these issues. And that's what we intend to do.
Congressman McCarthy, I assume that the President, what he wants to do is say, I agree with you on a lot of the spending cuts. In fact, he wants to freeze federal, the pay of federal workers. But what he doesn't want to do is extend the tax breaks for those who make over $250,000 a year. If he says, okay, I'll extend it for 2 years, is that something you can live with?
I think what the President needs to do when he looks at that, 70% of all new jobs come from small business. That's where job creation is. If he taxes that, most small businesses are S-corps, which will be higher than the corporate tax rate, which is the second highest in the nation. It'll kill job creation. I think the President needs to sit down and wipe out any idea of raising taxes in the process and be able to move forward.
If he doesn't, though, I mean, if he does, he's not going to agree with you on that. And if he doesn't agree with you on that...
Why do you think he won't agree with us now?
Because he hasn't so far. You think that because of the election he's suddenly going to say, okay, got it, you guys are right.
Look what he's done so far. We came out with a pledge to America. Where did he start getting some of the ideas on federal? He's actually moved a little way. In 1994, you had Clinton come out and say the era of big government's over. We want to give him a little benefit of the doubt, give him an opportunity. If not, we have an agenda to move through that can help go a different direction. When you look at the world today, you look at Greece, you look at Ireland, you look at Spain. We are on the forefront of almost being where they are. We have a short time frame to correct this. He understands that. He increased discretionary spending 84% in the last 3 years. Small businesses haven't had that. This isn't impossible to do, and it's a good way to start and be able to move forward. I think there's a lot of places we can work together on. There's a lot of places to continue to move forward, but the more that you keep uncertainty, that's a trillion on the sidelines that's not investing in job creation, that is not government money, that could start jobs moving.
It's easy to say this, Greta. The money's going to be spent either way. It's going to either be spent by politicians here in Washington or by those that earn it. And I think most Americans would say, young, old, Republican or Democrat right now, let's let the people who've earned the money keep it so that they can put it back into the system and create jobs.
That's what you say, and you say, and you say. But you've got to get, in order, I mean, to have bipartisanship, there's got to be sort of, you know,
we have bipartisanship.
Everyone's got to agree on the same thing.
If our position was put on the floor, it would pass, and we'd get a lot of Democrats. These guys are the vote counters. I got to tell you, the president's position probably couldn't even pass among the Democrats in the lame duck session of Congress.
Does he know that?
37 Democrats signed the letter. It only takes 39.
So we have Democrats in the current lame duck who agree with us on this position. The question is, will he and the Speaker, current Speaker Nancy Pelosi, allow this vote to even occur? If it happens, we will pass this.
Is there any way they won't?
Well, I mean, Greta, we're going to the White House tomorrow to say to the president, look, you know, we've had an election that, frankly, I don't think many of us have experienced in the time we've been here in Washington that's been so dispositive. There was, as Paul said, an outright repudiation of the direction that this administration has been taking us over the last 2 years. So it is up to the president to say, look, we're not going to agree on everything, but one thing we can agree on was that this election was about the people saying it's time for Washington to deliver results, and priority one's got to be more jobs for more Americans. And if you are, I think, if you are comfortable with that, as are most members of Congress and most American people, you would then naturally say, look, no tax hikes right now while we have such unemployment. Let's help job creators go about providing employment opportunity for the young people in this room and for many other Americans. In my state alone, nearly 300,000 Virginians are still out of work.
Next, more with the young guns. One of them brings up the R word, repeal. Are they about to go after President Obama's health care bill? Stay tuned. Continuing with Republican Congressman Eric Cantor, Paul Ryan, and Kevin McCarthy. Now, they call themselves the Young Guns, and tomorrow they have a meeting, a big meeting, with President Obama. Are they ready to take on the president over taxes? What happens if he says no to extending the tax cuts to people who make more than $250,000 a year?
The economy will slow down. We will continue having high unemployment. I really believe that. I really believe if he does that, then you're going to have small businesses hit with a big tax increase that we're not necessarily seeing coming, and it's going to slow down our economy.
Is there any risk he's going to say that thing?
Sure. There is a risk that he'll say it, but put it on the floor and let it be voted upon. You know, why in any idea would you walk through and be lingering? Here we are right before December. The issue still hasn't been solved. You've got uncertainty out there. You want to take away this uncertainty where people will invest in this country and know what the future holds. Small businesses won't make the investment if they know what the future, that they're going to be raised taxes.
If you think it's all about class warfare and economic redistribution, that might make for good politics, but it's rotten economics. 50% of all small business income is going to get hit with a massive tax increase in January. 2/3 of all of our jobs in this country come from small businesses. So this is serious economics we're talking about, and job creation. And we have enough people in his own party in Congress that agree with us on this. So if we can get bipartisanship, it's because he allows his vote to take
What about health care?
Well, I was going to say this. If he says no to us on taxes, I will say right now that the first bill we'll put on the floor as a new majority in January is a bill to retroactively ensure no one gets a tax hike. And as far as the health care bill is concerned, I think most Americans understand that is a bill that will not only bankrupt this country, it will bankrupt the states. It'll change health care from those who have it to something that is unrecognizable, and the Republic has rejected that approach to health care reform.
Will you have hearings and fight funding of it, all the different aspects of it?
Not only that, Greta, I think you can count on a Republican majority putting onto the floor a repeal bill that says we need to repeal that version of health care reform and replace it with the kind of health care reform that, frankly, we have been talking about for the last couple of years and that most Americans feel they need, which is allow people greater choice, allow them to purchase an insurance policy across state lines, make sure that we don't allow insurance companies to deny coverage for pre-existing conditions, but do it in a way that doesn't raise costs. The whole point is, Greta, Obamacare, what it's done is it has ratcheted up people's premium costs. Everybody's experiencing it now. No one knows how much additional cost will be added to hiring someone because of Obamacare. That's also standing in the way of job growth.
Is it fair to describe in a rather blunt way that tomorrow's meeting is, Mr. President, work with us and come off the dime, come off your position, and if you don't, look out?
No, we have a few weeks left of this lame duck. This tax increase hits right around the corner. It is best for the economy, it is best for small businesses, it is best for families who are trying to plan their future, that they have some certainty. So right now, this isn't about gamesmanship. This isn't about party, one-upsmanship. This is about the economy.
But it's been that.
Hasn't it
largely been that?
We're tired of that. But we want to get this economy growing. We want to do what it takes. And there's going to be plenty of time for all these disagreements later. Healthcare is an area where we're going to have disagreements. There's a lot of areas in the budget. We just don't believe the government should be nearly as big as the president's been proposing. So let's focus on the economy right now. And this is why we think in this lame duck session right now, we need to deal with this today.
Yeah. But why do you say it's been that way? Because you've had one party rule so strongly. And, I mean, why is this meeting tomorrow or this week such a big deal? Because the president doesn't come meet with us very often. They haven't had that ability to have a bipartisanship to talk, even on the floor. Look, maybe I learned about politics when I was a small kid on Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a Bill on Capitol Hill. I don't know if you know that. But it doesn't.
They're too young to see that.
It doesn't work that way. I mean, in the last 2 years, you didn't have a debate on the floor. 5 people in the back of the room wrote the bill. It came to the floor. People didn't even read it. The speaker says, I have to pass health care so you can know what's in the bill. Well, once it's passed and people know what's in the bill, more people dislike it today than before. So maybe this week is a new beginning, and it's an opportunity. And we're sitting here with ideas. We wrote a pledge to America, laid it out. Here's ideas. We put it on the table. When the president wanted to do the stimulus, Eric gave him our options to create twice as many jobs with half the money. Use the free market to be able to work it.
Well, gentlemen, I thank you, and I hope you come join us. I'd love to have you come join us after tomorrow's meeting tomorrow night, if I can hustle you and book you that way. But you put in him? Anyway, Young Guns, great picture, fascinating book, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.